So I think I'm long overdue on doing a sort of a how-to video on how to properly use the carpet cleaning wand. Without a doubt, there's no better wand than a low-profile 4-jet swivel wand with the all very important view window. While there are a number of fantastic wands on the market, without a view window, you're merely guessing at what you're recovering soil and moisture-wise. So after dry vacuuming the carpet, I choose to use a Hydroforce pre-spray due to the high volume and high capacity to get the cleaning agent onto the carpet. I'm going to spray the entire carpet, not just around the furniture, and definitely put an extra amount in the traffic lanes and heavily soiled areas, paying special attention to spots and whatnot. You don't want to spray so much that the spots disappear, because then you can potentially forget that they're there and not rinse them out thoroughly. But you do definitely want to soak the entire fiber. The next crucial step on soiled carpets is to give it a pre-scrub. Sure, if you have a repeat customer that's having you out 2-3 times a year, or the carpet's not very old, you can skip this process and dwell time is good enough. But any carpet that has heavily embedded soil, greasy soil, really needs to be scrubbed. I'm using a 10-inch CRB here with the brown stiff brushes, which just do a fantastic job of not only lifting the pile, but digging out fibers and pet hair and sand and grit and God knows what else that's at the bottom of this carpet. So by doing the pre-spray first and then scrubbing it in, you are getting a lot of dwell time. But if you've ever gone to a do-it-yourself car wash and tried to save a couple quarters by just spraying the car with hot soapy water, then doing the rinse, and then driving off, you'll notice there's still quite a bit of soil stuck to the car that you really needed to use the brush. It's much the same thing with carpet. When you just rely on dwell time and wanding, even if you're running a rinse through the wand, you are going to leave a lot of soil behind on the carpet, whether you or the customer see it or not. Okay, here we go with the rinsing process. You can see that I had already gone horizontal against that entry area just so I can work it from 2 or 3 directions. And doing a fairly slow back pull. And I always like to go against or alongside all the edges first with the notched glide there, just so I'm getting out dust bunnies and whatever else the dry vacuum may have missed. And then I'll work my way out the room doing, about 4.5 foot long passes up to maybe 4 or 5 passes wide, which, about 4 or 5 feet again. And then my dry strokes are usually 1 inch or 2 longer on both ends, just to eliminate any chance of streaking or puddling. So this wand here is set to, 600 psi and 6 flow on the jets. So it's getting a really good flush, almost the equivalent of what a rotor extractor can do. And everything just tends to happen a little quicker. And while you got to be careful not to empty the heat exchanger putting out that much water, if you learn the timing on your machine, you can sustain your heat, as you can see that's happening by the vapor blowing out the back of those jets there. And really get a great rinse. So something I got to remind my guys, and even myself from time to time, is not to just go through the motions and treat every carpet or tile floor for that matter the same. They're all different. They all need tweaking to get the best results. Whether it's the speed at which you move the wand, your pressure, your heat, the amount of agitation. You got to take all these things into consideration and adjust accordingly. This carpet here is a bit of a challenge. It was a very small apartment, lots of traffic, cat, and not the best vacuuming being done. But being that it's polyester, it is cleaning up rather quickly. I didn't have any stains giving me any problems. Actually, I didn't have to post spot whatsoever. I'm using the Ultra Pack Extreme on this one, which is a fantastic oily soil cutter. And along with the heat here that was doing really well at this job due to the outside ambient temperature and not sitting on the heat exchanger for too long and getting terrific results. So let's take a closer look at this wand from the back side. Here you can see the notch that allows you to clean along the edge. Glides can wear and that can go away, so you can re-notch them with a razor blade. And then look how the jets are angled so that they don't strike each other, or I should say the water doesn't strike each other, creating streaking or excessive splashing or dripping off the wings. Tom at Devastator really knows how to set these things up. All right, from this angle, you get a better idea of how slowly I'm moving the wand. Also notice that I'm able to stand pretty much straight up. I'm not leaning over into the stroke. Even though this isn't really an excessively long wand, I don't hold on to the assist handle on the far outreach part of the cleaning stroke. I let it go. And you can tell by my size 14 boot there that I'm definitely getting the wand out there, 4 or more feet ahead of me without having to lean into it. Again, notice I'm not leaning over. I got the handle adjusted just right, so when I need to make adjustments or move the wand around, I don't have to lean over. I see so many cleaners run that assist handle so low, I just don't understand it. And with my foot forward, I'm getting a nice 4 or 5 foot stroke. It doesn't matter that I'm 6'7". Any cleaner can do that, particularly with an S-bend wand. And that's one of the benefits. You can push them out further. A straight, no-bend wand, you're only going to be able to go out maybe 3 feet before it's at the wrong angle. This wand in particular has a longer heel section, which, again, makes it easier to get further out in front of you. You want to make good time cleaning the carpet. When you're going slow and methodical with the dry strokes and wet strokes, you don't want to be doing little 2-foot passes. So from this angle, I think you get another perspective here of how slow I'm going and the rinsing going on, as well as that killer heat that I'm getting. But again, watch the overlap and also notice that I'm not getting any kind of jet distortion to the pile. Really coming out well. So here's another transition area right against the back slider, where I'm going to do a few extra passes along with there, knowing that, they're dragging sand and grit from the backyard into the front yard. I can't quite see it in the window there, but I could definitely tell I was getting an abnormal amount of soil out. And then I'm going to come at it, straight in, and again, spend more time right there in that, whatever that is, that 10-inch area, and dry stroke the heck out of it. You can see it coming pretty clean there. And now I'm going to work in a longer swath. Again, watch what you're doing. Don't get involved with talking to the customer or messing with your earbuds, cranking music. You really want to study the carpet. That's part of the reason why many of us choose to do a thorough pre-vacuuming, because you're kind of getting a familiarity and a one-on-one with the carpet, and you're seeing things as you're moving the pile in one direction, vacuuming, that you're going to want to pay special attention to while you're rinsing. By skipping the dry vacuum process, you're kind of coming into the relationship late. So as I rinse this transition area right here by the front door, let's talk about how to wand the Berber carpet. And that came up today on one of the pages where somebody told me that it's impossible to wand or hot water extract Berber carpets and that they need to be low moisture clean. Couldn't be anything further from the truth. You just want to adapt to Berbers, and keep in mind that you don't want to get the backing wet. There's usually lots of dry soil hiding in them due to their thin profile. People never spend the right amount of time or using the correct method to vacuum them. So you want to use less pre-spray, but a stronger pre-spray. Cut it down to about, let's say 400 psi on the pre-spray and your rinse, but use more chemistry so that you're getting less for more, essentially. That'll avoid overwetting, and do even more dry strokes. If you're concerned about dry times, you feel a soapy residue on the back of your hand, you can do, what really helps is post padding with a 175, put a cotton or a cotton poly blend bonnet on there and kind of buff it dry, or just use fans for a little bit and speed dry the carpet. But you'll get fantastic results, and personally I'd rather clean Berber than pile carpet any day of the week. So besides good wand technique, it's also very important to keep your cleaning unit in great shape. Keep all your filters clean, inline and in the tank. Make sure your jets are in good shape and your glide's not worn out. And very importantly, don't keep your vacuum hose coiled on the reel or coiled in a loop outside the house or in the house. Keep everything long and straight. The water will evacuate much quicker. You get much better performance. Pay attention to your equipment. So last but not least, let's talk a little bit about how to perform the right dry stroke. And if you watch carefully here, you'll see how I lift up the handle and use the wand almost like a squeegee as a rug washer would to, well, in this case, I'm extracting the water rather than pushing the water off the rug. But again, I'm watching that window, getting the last of the wet soil out of there and leaving a nice groomed finish with the wand rather than a rake. Yesterday I was cleaning a $10 million home up at the lake, and today here I am cleaning a $800 a month apartment. But in either situation, clean, do your best, pay attention, and just pretend that God or your mother is watching, whoever you fear the most.